Welcome to the Discovery Podcast. I'm your host Yasser, and today I'm joined by Bob. He is an award-winning scientist who also happens to be an extremophile. Bob has spent decades studying extremophiles, and I'm excited to dive into our conversation. We will talk about various topics, such as what makes them special, how do they survive extreme conditions, and what types of environments they prefer, and etc. Let's get started. First off, Bob, what puts the extreme in extremophiles? Can you please elaborate on what climates they thrive in, or perhaps prefer?
Extremophiles are bacteria that have adapted to live in extreme environments. They were one of Earth's first living organisms due to their ability to withstand the harsh conditions present on early Earth. They can thrive in really hot climates as well as really cold climates. They live in places such as hot springs and deep-sea vents. They can withstand extreme pressure whereas other organisms would not. They can also thrive in areas with varying pH and salinity levels. They are super creatures with abilities tailored to their environments.
Do extremophiles prefer an extreme environment, or can they simply just survive in extreme conditions, or does it not really matter at all?
It's not a case of whether I prefer extreme conditions or not, but rather that my biological traits have evolved to allow me to not only survive but thrive in these conditions. However, different extremophiles are suited to different conditions. For example, thermophiles who thrive in hot conditions won't do too well in cooler temperatures, and vice versa. You can't think of it like how humans prefer to live in a hotter or cooler climate, rather think about it as that through the stages of evolution and genetic makeup. They just are more suited to harsh environments rather than more favorable environments.
Great segue to this next question. What aspects of your biology allows you to survive in such extreme environments?
Unique biomolecules found in extremophiles allow metabolic reactions to continue uninhibited and are comparatively stable in extremely high or low temperatures. Essentially, our DNA evolved to allow our body to function and flourish in environments other living organisms would not. As I already mentioned, the necessary requirements for evolution allowed our DNA to evolve to pass on these characteristics to offspring. Therefore, the extremophiles that came along later were better acclimated to extreme environments than generations before.
What can you tell us about life beyond Earth? And how can we use what we learned about extremophiles and their characteristics to think about the possibility of life on other planets?
It's very possible that there is microbial life beyond Earth. For example, there could be organisms similar to endoliths living on the deep surface of Mars, due to water being discovered on Mars. Due to our unique characteristics, we can provide new insights for humans to define the conditions for life beyond Earth. Since most terrestrial planets share similar characteristics to early Earth, i.e. thick atmosphere, lack of liquid water, and carbon, the organisms that would likely be the first to develop in those planets would be extremophiles. This is why I believe humans should put more emphasis on studying extremophiles, because if they truly can identify them or somehow develop them through artificial means, they can potentially open the door for life to flourish beyond Earth.
Thank you, Bob, for being on the Discovery Podcast and giving us new insight on the fascinating world of extremophiles. I really enjoyed your perspective on the topic and your suggestions on how to really understand these complex organisms better.
My pleasure. It was a wonderful experience, and hopefully my expertise helped you better understand our species.